Hello,
Hi,
happy Tuesday.
it's Tuesday, so we're jumping in with some tips.
Some tips. Today we're going to talk a little about goals. We've been really harping on that in our current group, and wanted to share 3 tips with you guys as well today.
Yeah, and I think with goal setting, it's one of those things that's been ingrained in us since we were children, but it doesn't mean that we do it well or effectively. And that's kind of our lead in to tip number 1. So, and goals could be anything, right? It's your financial goals, it's your professional goals, it's your significant other goals, whatever it may be. Like everyone has goals, like things they want to achieve for growth. So the first tip, let me just jump right in.
Yeah, just jump right in.
First tip is to set effective goals. And there are 2 things, so this is kind of like a 2-in-1. 2 things that we recommend for setting effective goals. The first is you have to be clear in your goals. And this is where mindset is huge, because a lot of times we'll work with women who, they want to run a marathon. And we ask, well, why? And ultimately they want to make their family proud. They want to be in their best shape, and they want to feel good about themselves, but they actually, hey Jess, they actually don't want to run a marathon. So they're going to be resistant to that and to the training program. They might get injured. They might, have mental burnout. So the first is to be really clear in the why behind your goals. Like, why do you want to achieve what you want to achieve?
Beeps.
Yeah, and once you're clear on your why, well, then you let that lead your what. And so the second part.
Yeah, it's just making kind of what Melissa touched on, just tangible goals. We work with a lot of women that have these really lofty goals, and not to say that they're not achievable, but we need to understand, and as coaches, we want you to understand how you're going to get there, right? So making these measurable, tangible things that you can actually like go through and check off on your week-to-week basis, but really like keeping the clarity behind it, and then adding almost something that's measurable, which is funny because we coach away from measuring. Yeah. Right? We coach away from like counting your almonds, but like we're here to measure goals for sure.
Please don't count your almonds. Please count your measurable steps for your goals though. So for example, if you're like not totally clear on what that means, that could be, instead of saying I'm going to work out more this week, I'm going to get in 3 runs and 1 yoga class this week. And even more specific, I'm going to get in 2 30-minute runs, 1 40-minute run, and 1 yoga class. So really, really measurable, so that you know, how did you meet that? Because if you say, I want to run more this week or work out more, how do you know what more is? So how do you know if it was successful?
Yep. And I think we can often get like tied up in that and say like, oh, we had a shit week, but did you? Leading into number 2, we could literally talk about number 1 all day.
And 2.
This is
a good one.
So now you have those measurable goals. Now you're clear on those goals. You have those measurable goals. Now you look at your week and you block them in, which is what we like to refer as time blocking, which is something we practice,
people
we preach.
Are like shuddering.
Yeah, we practice, we preach, we talk about all the time, because that's how you're going to get there.
And so the best way to explain time blocking, and we said last night we were on a coaching call with our group that's in our course, and we were on a coaching call with them, and we literally could do an entire phase. We have our courses in phases. We could do an entire phase in just time blocking. It's really just in the warm-up section, but think of it as like a budget for your time. So we like to think of food, emotion, energy, time, money, all of these things, they're just energy sources. What is an energy source? It makes things move forward, right? Money makes things move forward. Food makes things move forward. Time, all of that, right? So just like if you're blindly spending and you have no idea where your money is going, if you're blindly spending your time, you're going to be bouncing checks, right? You've got to know where your time's going. And you want to make sure your money is in alignment with your goals and your values. And you want to make sure your time is in alignment with your goals and your values. So we literally teach people to chunk down, right, their time. That's like probably the best way I can explain it quickly. But so time blocking is tip number 2.
Yep. And just one more thing on that.
We love it.
Everyone's busy.
Yeah.
Everyone is busy. So
say it again.
For real, louder in the back. Literally everyone's busy. Like, no question. But as you find clarity and as you measure out those goals, And as you time block, it gets a whole lot easier. And that almost builds that momentum that's empowering. That's like, holy shit, like, yeah, I reached my goals this week. And then it almost like snowballs into this really, really beautiful snowball of momentum. So I think that's another important thing to.
And maybe just a little bonus on that is like, think about it. Just like, and I'll call myself out so that you don't think this is like any, any one criticism. Like, it was like, oh, in high school, I'm so busy. I'm, class office, I do my sports, I work here, I do that. And then in college, it's, oh, I play sports, I work a job, I have a social life, I'm so busy, I don't have the time. And then you're working after, and then, all of a sudden you're pregnant, like whatever it may be, but it's you're constantly busy. Like, I don't know anyone who's ever really had a length of time of feeling like they had extra time to give, like Mooch said. So just be really honest with yourself, because what we hear is it will get better when this changes. So as you think about time blocking and your level of busyness, like really think about what's the common denominator. And usually it's us maybe not being so great with time.
Yeah.
All right.
We kind of spiraled into that.
We totally spiraled.
Do you want to share 3?
Yeah. So the third one is keeping it simple. So many of you have probably heard of keep it simple, stupid. We're going to talk about this just in the sense of, goal setting is very simple. Time blocking is very simple. Everyone gets so caught up in we want to know about like a level 3 workout. We want to know about superfoods. We want to know about food combining. And intentionally in our course, those aren't until phase 3 or phase 4, because if you don't keep it simple and like build your foundation, it doesn't matter how good of goals you have. Like, you have to have something solid to build from. So keeping it simple, really getting that foundation down, getting the habit down, so that as you build and grow and you're adding in these higher level things, you've got a steady base. So if, the in-laws are coming one weekend, it's not going to wipe you out from like your goal setting, your time blocking, or if somebody gets sick, or if the car breaks down. Being able to do your basic goals through kind of like circumstances all over the place is what you need before you get to that food combining or the superfoods or the power.
We don't even talk about bigger like goal setting opportunities until phase 4.
Yeah.
So
yeah, we actually don't have people write their long-term goals until phase 4.
We do like week chunks.
You gotta have a foundation down.
Yeah. So hopefully these 3 tips, we'll let you guys get back to your days, but we hope these 3 tips were helpful. If you guys use any of them now or try them this week, shoot us a message, write them in the comments. We'd love to hear. If you have any questions, let us know. Yeah. We're always like borderline obsessed with this.
Yeah. And we can give you, an outline on how we would recommend doing your goal setting for basic clarity and alignment. So, if that's something you want, to shoot a message. If you have any questions, comment down here.
Yeah. Go win the week. We'll talk to you guys soon.